Hello and welcome to another complete Cambridge IGCSE PE lesson. The third topic in Chapter 10, Access and Participation in Sport. As always, we'll cover absolutely everything you need to know for your exam, and today you need to be able to identify the factors that affect access to physical activity, describe the factors that affect participation in sports and physical activities, and explain strategies for increasing access and participation in sports. In our last lesson, we looked at ways in which people can be helped to progress through the levels of the sports development pyramid. Unfortunately, and despite the efforts of the numerous parties involved, many people come across obstacles that hinder their progress or even prevent them from becoming part of the pyramid and taking part in physical activities at all. We'll begin by taking a look at some of these obstacles or factors that affect our ability to access certain physical activities. The first factor is age, which affects our physical capabilities and limits our choices. For example, the elderly may be unable to access high-intensity or contact sports such as sprinting, football or rugby due to a loss of physical attributes including strength and power, and an increased incidence of debilitating conditions such as arthritis and poor hearing and eyesight. Equally, activities like weight training put too much stress on the developing bones and joints of young children and are therefore inappropriate for this age bracket. Next up is gender, and there are a number of activities that may be difficult for either men or women to access. For example, netball is traditionally viewed as a female sport, meaning opportunities are extremely limited for males, while a small number of organisations such as golf clubs prevent women from taking part at all. In addition, female sport generally receives less funding, meaning high-quality facilities and coaching are more difficult to come by. Disability is our third and perhaps most restrictive factor. While losing the use of a limb, for example, would evidently limit your choices, disability sports are also few and far between, and leisure centres or public facilities may lack disabled parking spaces and toilets, wheelchair ramps, automatic doors or handrails. The next factor is social influences, which include your family's financial status and the quality of school facilities. People from lower socioeconomic backgrounds may not be able to afford equipment, club memberships or coaching fees, while poorly equipped schools may only be able to offer a very limited range of activities. The final factor that affects access to physical activities is cultural or religious influences. Certain religions prevent participation on holy days and have stances on body exposure that prevent, particularly women, from accessing sports such as gymnastics and swimming. Now, having access is just one of a number of factors that influence which sports or physical activities we decide to take part in. Our second learning objective is to describe the other factors involved and their impact, so we'll take some time now to work through the list. Our first factor is family. Traditionally, in some countries, women are expected to look after the family without much support, restricting their opportunities to participate in physical activities. Your family may also have a big influence on the activities you develop an interest for and decide to participate in. Education. People who have been educated on the health benefits of exercise may be more likely to participate. Environment and climate. Where you live, including the weather and terrain, affects which activities are available to you. For example, people who live in hot countries are very unlikely to take up winter sports like cross-country skiing, while those who live in mountainous areas may be drawn to activities such as rock climbing, hiking, or road cycling. Financial considerations. Expensive pursuits such as golf, horse riding or sailing may not be accessible for those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds who may instead choose activities that don't require expensive club membership fees or equipment. The media has a huge influence on our interests, as sports like football that receive more media attention tend to attract a greater number of participants than minority sports. In addition, male sports are well covered in the media, meaning men have plenty of inspiration to participate, while female sports feature far less. The media also presents us with role models, whose positive approach to sport may inspire us to get involved. Role models in female and minority sports are relatively few in number, however, which could affect participation. Discrimination. People with disabilities or from minority ethnic groups may unfortunately be discriminated against, which could discourage them from participating. Women may also face prejudice, particularly if they decide to take part in a traditionally male sport like rugby or football. Time and commitments. The modern world is busy and fast-paced, and due to family, work or other commitments, many people simply don't have enough leisure time to commit to physical activities. Clearly, there are a number of factors that may limit our options or even prevent us from taking part in physical activity at all. Fortunately, many of these issues are being recognised, and strategies are being put in place to increase participant numbers. Our final learning objective requires you to explain strategies that help to address each of the factors we just discussed, so let's work through the list once more and identify some examples. Family. Sports clubs and leisure centres could offer cheaper memberships when enrolling as a family, and may also provide childcare that allows parents to participate despite their busy schedules. Education. Educational initiatives delivered through schools could help to educate the younger generation about the importance of physical activity, which could in turn incentivise more people to take part in the future. Environment and climate. Specialist facilities such as indoor ski slopes, surfing simulators and rock climbing centres allow us to take part in activities that many of us would otherwise be unable to access. Access. Leisure centres and public sports facilities are now taking more care to ensure the elderly and disabled are catered for. They may provide specific activities such as walking football for the elderly, while wider doors, disabled parking spaces and toilets, and equipment such as swimming pool hoists mean that disabled people are also able to participate. Financial considerations. A number of strategies are being used to help make sport more affordable for those with less, including reducing the cost of memberships through concessions for pensioners and children, and promoting local group activities such as parkruns and aerobics to keep costs down. Media and role models. Increasing the coverage of typically female sports like netball, using motivational campaigns, introducing programs such as Sky TV's Sports Women, and involving more high-profile female TV presenters may all help to inspire more women to participate. In addition, coverage of disability sport through events like the Paralympics exposes disabled people to inspirational role models. Discrimination. Media companies and sports governing bodies work together to oversee and manage anti-racism or gender equality initiatives through sport. Time and commitments. Workplaces such as office blocks may decide to introduce facilities such as gyms, which would allow those in full-time work to exercise despite their busy schedules. Now you've just covered everything you need to know on topic 10.3, access and participation in sport. If you'd like to practice applying what you've learned, you can find a link to every Cambridge past paper down in the description. As always, I hope you found this lesson useful, and I'll see you in the next one.